to week 14 of the official Sefton Performing Arts and Creative Education podcast. Today I am joined with some of our space staff team, Adam, Ben, and our centre manager Kerry, alongside Tom and Ruby. Hello everyone, how are we all?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Who are you, by the way? Because you didn't introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Who's this person introducing me?
My name's KIERON and I am your host for this week.
Amazing.
And first things first, how is everyone? How's everyone's week been?
Good. I've been good.
What have you all been up to? In the garden, out in the sun?
Little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I'm quite chilled this week. To be fair, I've spent the weekend playing my PlayStation, so I do need to get out and get some fresh air. All good here.
Okay, what point did you know that you were hosting this podcast? Because when we had our session this morning, you didn't even know there was a podcast. So,
I didn't actually.
I went, yeah.
Well, no. Last week we said we weren't doing it, and then obviously stuff's changed, so we are. Right at the end of my session with Adam, I just asked him, can I host podcast? Yeah, sound.
I was more than happy to hand that responsibility off.
Yeah.
A couple of things that I wanted to touch upon this week is one of the things that has been announced today in the news is the new 1 metre plus rule. So our Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, he's released information talking about the new steps to open up England and to start lifting lockdown restrictions. One of the things he has said is that cafes, pubs, cinemas and restaurants are all allowed to reopen, as well as some youth centres and other bits and bobs.
We've got a surprise guest.
And here we have JP joining us.
Hello. Hi guys.
Better late than never.
Okay.
So, go ahead, Key. Where were we up to?
So we were up to. So basically, I've just said, JP, that Boris Johnson is starting to release lockdown restrictions as of the 4th of July, with cafes, pubs, and restaurants and stuff like that opening. One of the things he has said is that 2 metre social distancing in places where we can do it has to remain the same. But if 2 metre social distancing cannot be done, it is going to go down to 1 metre. And any fines or anything that was introduced are also being lifted due to the nature of restrictions being lifted. He has said that face masks or face coverings do have to be worn within areas of 1 metre social distancing. What do you think about that?
I'm happy to wear mine. I suppose coming from, I've been in lockdown now for the last 3 months, and for a lot of that time I've been on my own in the flat. So when I do go out and I go to shops, I tend to wear this. But if I'm going to see a couple of people that I know, and I know their situation, if they've been in lockdown too. For instance, I was in a support, well, I still am in a support bubble with Annie. So I went to see her last weekend, and I wasn't sat in a flat with me face mask on because I knew that she'd been in lockdown just like me. So I suppose if I know that other people have been keeping themselves safe and sticking to those guidelines, I feel a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, it's good news, I think.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, it might change again. I'm always under that impression that it's going to change, maybe go back to what it was, go even better again. So I just kind of go with it now. Just
make it 3 meters. Keep everyone away from me.
That's it.
Round it up to 5. It's fine.
It is better for me.
Tom, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's good to pick the 1 meter rule because you get more business to open and you get to meet other people closer.
Of course.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Go on, Kerry.
I was going to say, I think you're right. I think the whole push for the 1 meter is due to businesses and the economy, isn't it? It's trying to keep things moving and try to make a bit of normality back again. However, it depends on which way that people deal with the 1 meter rule. It's if people decide, the 1 meter rule is here now, so let's change it to the 10 centimeter rule rather than a 1 meter rule. It all kind of depends on how people treat the 1 meter rule moving forward. So I think it's wise of them to say, we keep the 2 meter rule as best as what we can, and we use our discretion with the 1 meter rule. Because there is a much bigger difference between having a 2 meter rule and a 1 meter rule in terms of the infection rate and things like that. So it is different. So I think you're right, Tom.
Yeah.
For me, I'm wondering why, like, if pubs and that can open, why have we stopped there? Why come gyms can't open? How come salons can't open, but certain things can?
Because of the place.
I think with bars though, there's something that they were going to have. So, what was it? Someone made said that because I've got a few mates who still work on bars, so they've got to put in place this. So they'll ask. So the people who come into the bars, they'll get asked like where they've been, or if they've been in contact with anyone who's possibly had the virus, and if they have, then they won't be allowed in. Something like that. Which I think is a good thing to do. That whole tracking and just seeing where you're pinning that to secure it.
So what they've said as well is that nobody's allowed to actually be at the bar in any pubs or restaurants. It's got to be table service only, which in a way it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense for the members of staff who are serving them. So there's two sides to everything, obviously. And with the terms of swimming, gyms and everything the same, because of the amount of people who touch different surfaces, it's risk of spreading the virus even more and obviously increasing the rate of infection again, which obviously nobody wants.
I think like with gyms especially, because no one will wipe down the equipment anyway. So I think as happy as people would be to be back in the gym, you'd have to put in place to where anything you use, you'd have to wipe it down, and I don't think everyone really would, to be honest.
In different countries.
I think it's just taking baby steps. It was at the beginning. It was certain shops were open. It was like that was it, and then it was you allowed more people in, or you got a little bit more of security going out with people. And now that more sort of places are opening, it's just taking them baby steps closer to the end goal, which is being able to see the people that we want to see, but with a sort of you just got to be careful about it. But the baby steps are so important, like Kerry said, like the 2 meter to 1 meter. There is a big difference. But I think taking these steps is a good thing. But it's just how you get there, really, isn't it?
Yeah. On the news a couple of days ago, on USA, this gym, it got these bubble seasons, like papers around you. That mean you just go in, do the exercise in just one big bubble, and then just get out, and then you clean it all. A staff member clean it all, and then next person go in.
I think I've seen that somewhere, but I don't know where.
I think with the gyms and stuff, it's also to do about kind of breathing. The more exercise you do, the more you need to breathe. So it's because I suppose that's kind of the same as us, really, going back to space. It's that kind of taking activities into consideration, what we're doing around how much we're going to breathe inside. So I think you can do kind of gym workouts and stuff outside, isn't an issue. Inside a confined space is the risk is higher.
Okay,
positive steps.
It is, the next thing on the list is if we've got any news about the reopening of space.
I suppose that's a nice segue.
Yeah.
I can't
Go
wait.
field that one, Kerry.
Yeah, okay.
no.
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of time to kind of open it up that we are going to be opening sessions as from the 13th to the week of the 13th, all being well. Hopefully we won't all get shut down before then. So everything being well, the kind of week of the 13th we are going to be opening back the sessions. However, obviously there's going to be changes and it is going to be different rules and regulations around what we can and can't do, how many people we can have in sessions, what the sessions will look like, the content of the sessions will probably feel different. As Ruby was saying, you know, baby steps at first, and I think for the staff will all re-enter the week before so that they can all get used to it and get used to what rules and regulations are being put into place. Everybody else then will start to enter as from the week after. But we've kind of got a new code of conduct for everyone to sign. There will be a new video for everybody to watch. There will be cleaning regulations that staff will do. We'll be expecting everybody really to contribute to the safety of everybody else, I suppose, and adhere to the rules and guidelines. But yeah, I suppose we're all happy to say that we'll be opening back up for sessions as from the 13th. Bearing in mind that we'll be limited, I suppose, for what we can do for now, because as we just saying,
of course,
rules and regulations and things. But
we've talked about in previous podcasts as well about how there'll be some crossover. So even though we offer online youth work at the minute, there will still be online youth work being offered when we open. Because obviously there are going to be young people that aren't able to attend, whether they're shielding themselves or you know, they could just have concerns for their own health and safety. So we are going to continue them on for the foreseeable, aren't we, Kerry, until obviously things can be reviewed again.
I think the other thing as well, isn't it, Adam? It's like some of the sessions what we've done online have been, like the podcasts have been really valuable, and we didn't know how valuable that they were until we've kind of come and started trying things, and new things have kind of come to light that maybe, you know, you can kind of, this is the way forward for youth voice, and this is the way forward to kind of do certain activities. And I suppose it's including people as well who might not necessarily come to our centre. Maybe new people can join this way. And we can involve more kind of young people who, let's say, are isolated and don't go out as much. And maybe, you know, coming on and kind of doing some of the activities online might then entice them to come into space. So I think, you know, even though we can all moan about lockdown as all being a bit boring and a bit negative, I think kind of we've gained some things out of it, and there's actually been some really positive things out of it. And I know certainly for me, there's some really positive activities what have come out of this. So yeah, we'll be kind of, there will be new bits of programme that we'll take forward, I suppose.
Absolutely. I'm working on a video at the minute that is kind of like a retrospective on the last few months that we've spent in lockdown, and it reviews all of our programs and stuff that we've been involved in. And just working on that has gone to show just how much you guys have been invested in obviously taking part in space. And the message that I want to get across with that video is that space isn't a youth centre in Bootle, you are space. And you've proved that with just how you've stepped up to the difficulties that we've all been facing the last 3 months. And as Kerry said, echoing the same thing, I've learned a lot personally as a youth worker about how I deliver my sessions and stuff that we can take forward when we do get back to space, like the podcast and like, you know, even the online events, you know, like the recycled runway and stuff like that. It's different ways of working, but you showed that it's completely possible. So I think you guys deserve a massive thank you for that.
Yeah, I think like when lockdown happened, I think the first thought that a lot of us had was that we weren't going to have space at all. And I think when you guys brought on like these online sessions, I think at first, like I know a few people were like, oh, you weren't sure if it was gonna be the same, but
we weren't.
When we returned to space, I think a lot of people, I know I will actually miss these online sessions because they really have been. I think they've been amazing all throughout. You know, we've had like we've done the runway, we've had the quiz, Obviously with the drama sessions, with music sessions, and also with that. And I think, for example, with this as well, the podcast, it's something that I'd like to see. I'd like to see carried on even after lockdown is lifted. I think it's still something, like Kerry said, it's something that can maybe invite like other people who aren't part of the space, or just a way to show everyone else kind of what we do at space and why more people should be here and joining that. And I think it's been a really fun ride while we've had these online sessions, because I know me personally, these have kept me sane all through this lockdown. I think if I hadn't have them, I'd be bored as hell.
Yeah, like everything that you guys are doing for us, especially, just makes it 10 times better. You know, we're not sitting there thinking what to do because it's, oh, I've got space tonight. I'm probably gonna have to do something, you know, dress up or do something dead fun, you know, or it's not, we're just sitting there bored anymore. It's, I've got something to look forward to still. You know, space was my looking forward to in the week. You know, I look forward to it every single day, and I still do. And I'm glad that I've kept that. But that's not just down to all of us as well. It takes a lot of time, and you guys, the staff and everything, you all did it for us, and you have been patient with us. And yeah, I think you deserve a well done as well, because what you did was amazing, because you kept it all alive even through this time. So thank you for that.
Thanks, Ruby.
Yeah, that was but I genuinely I started welling up a little bit there. That's amazing.
No, it's just nice sometimes, I suppose, to hear from young people, because I think the thing of it is, as a team and that, sometimes we have our own struggles, like we did. You know, we got a phone call really to say that, you know, we're going to close down, and it kind of hits us a bit of a brick, kind of saying, all right, okay, what do we do next? So us being performing arts and creative education, it's a little more difficult than maybe some of the other kinds of youth services and things will happen. So I think, you know, kind of pulling ourselves together and getting online and doing the best that we can. I think sometimes we have a meeting on a Monday morning, and sometimes on a Monday morning we kind of question, you know, are we doing the right thing, or, you know, does this thing need to close and change to this thing? What ideas, especially at the beginning, it was very much what ideas can we come up with, and what can we do, and how can we respond? And, you know, from our point of view, it's kind of, we're always trying to do the right thing. And sometimes we have to judge feedback by how many people turn up. And I think a couple of times we sat at the Friday night quiz and we kind of thought, do we do this anymore? Is this still working, or whatever else? And, you know, we still managed to go right the way through with the Friday night quiz and having a laugh. And I think that the Friday night quiz saved us a bit, and making it just the end of the week. So, you know, it's nice to hear some feedback of young people. Thank you.
It's the enthusiasm from the young people as well, though, which makes it worthwhile. You know, if you guys were all like, oh, we're not bothered, you know, we probably would be bothered, but it's from the get-go, like, everyone's been well up for it, all the ideas, which sparks more ideas. And, you know, it's my sort of highlight of the week. I work mainly Tuesdays now, like amongst the day with sessions and stuff, and I can't wait for them, because it just breaks up the boredom, like doing something different every week, and I really look forward to it. Gutted. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
I think, JP, you mentioned about the podcast. Rest assured, like, the podcast will continue. The week that we get back as a staff team, I'm going to be looking around to see what the logistics would be of setting up the podcast in space, social distancing. But the idea will be that hopefully the next podcast that we record will be a live one. In space,
So that's not amazing. Getting back, and I think like a lot of people rely on space, and the fact that you guys have kept it on through this lockdown for a lot of people who kind of, you need space for that. Not just like I think it helps with their mental health as well. I think it really does. It keeps them kind of going. I think on how well you guys have put all of this together is just, I think, like Ruby said, is amazing.
I think one of the things as well is that, you know, it's been a learning curve for everyone, obviously, learning how to use Zoom, learning how to use Discord and all that type of stuff. And I think, obviously, now that we've got it, you know, we should keep using it as a way to keep in contact if, when we get back to space and things. Because I think, obviously, for some people, it's going to be difficult for them to be able to return with like all the new rules and stuff like that, and with rules constantly changing and things. It's a way that I think is obviously going to keep everyone in a strong position of how everyone is at space now. Friendly, fun, and everyone wants to be with with everyone and work on different projects and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say from my point of view, before this, I was a big one who was, I'm not recording anything online. Oh, I'm not saying anything online. Oh, me, where's the computer? Adam, help. I was very much that type of person. And I think, I think we've all learned something from this, technical and digital, all the way along.
Yeah.
It isn't using Zoom. I mean, I know kind of how to use Zoom now and how to use Team, and I know which one I prefer. And it's kind of, and I think the thing of it is moving forward, because of course, we can't go back to space tomorrow and expect that we put a show on a week Thursday, but we will try. But I think it kind of makes us think, what will it be like when it comes to Christmas panto? We've still got to be like this. How could we deliver it? How could we do it? Could we do it? Couldn't we? Could it be something where we're all dressed in costume and Zoom doing some kind of something or not? I don't know. I think it's kind of made everything seem a little bit more possible, whereas before we never thought of it. And maybe now, we will think out the box a little bit more of how to deliver and how to do things and new things.
Like everyone, oh, sorry, go ahead, JP.
Regarding what Kerry said, I think with using Zoom, we now have this like chance that we could do a play technically using Zoom, or I think there's a lot of new like technical ways we can now kind of perform the show, and I think it's opened a lot of new doors for us to try a lot of new stuff out. That I think when it comes to doing the Christmas panto, it's something that I'm looking forward to, especially more so this year. I think because one, obviously we had to be in space again, obviously we had to perform, but I think there's a lot of new ways that we're going to be able to kind of show our form a show in that.
I'll tell you what, I loved everything you said there, JP, apart from the beginning when you said that there are a lot of technical ways. You kept using the word technical, and in my head, an alarm went off like me and Ben. Sounds like a lot of work, that. A lot of work. Nah, we'll make it work. We always do.
I mean, me, go on, Ben, I missed that.
We just rig the place up with cameras like Big Brother when we get back.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to get the green screen out now and see what we can do with superimposed images.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll turn into a summer project or something.
That's it. The ideas are flowing, aren't they? And we're gearing up to get back. So yeah, I'm sure we'll try a load of new stuff. But I think we have said, haven't we, that we want to do at some point a live version of the quiz. We want to do a proper quiz at space, don't we, at some point? Yeah. Obviously the podcast will still go on. And all the sessions that we've been offering online. If you're not able to come back to space for whatever reason, or if you choose not to for the start, the online stuff will still be happening. And I think we're working on at the moment to set up where if you come to space and you're doing the session in the hall, that session will be broadcast to a Zoom group that aren't able to attend. So even if you can't physically attend space, you can attend the session, and you'll be live on the screen. We are looking at doing all that stuff. So
you know what that means? When you try to hang out in the park or something and miss a session, we'll still be able to Zoom.
Big Brother's watching.
Be able to find you. So no one's going to be assholes anymore.
I think that's about us, isn't it, Kate?
It is, yeah, I think so. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Kerry, especially for joining us for this week's podcast.
No problem.
You can catch us on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, we on Twitter?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We on
Yeah.
Facebook. We on Facebook,
No
Instagram,
pressure there
Twitter,
from Adam, was there? No
Discord.
pressure.
Have you done your homework yet?
Let's not
Because
even.
No
lockdown's
pressure.
nearly over.
Sitting there like that.
They haven't got long left, Kieran.
Yeah.
Haven't got long
Okay.
left.
Maybe I
Gotta get it done.
was literally just saying to Adam, I went through every Avengers film and I still cried when I got to Endgame.
Oh, I still do.
Kieran in the middle of the outro and he still gets talked about the MCU. Oh god. I can't cope. Oh.
Okay. So,
As you were, kid.
Okay.
uh,
You want me end it?
Come on, Kieran.
You have to end Kieran.
Tom's throwing it.
Tom,
Oh, poor Kieran.
Yeah.
Kieran.
Okay.
on
Kieran,
Instagram,
Kieran.
Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. You can get in touch with anyone on there. They can point you in the right direction and give you some more information. But that has been it for our official Sefton Performing Arts and Creative Education for until we get back to space. So this has been week 14. We'll see you again.
A big round of applause for Key there. He got through it, didn't he?
Great,
There we go, Key.
Kate.
He's right.
Thanks, Brett.